Hello, Lena. Welcome to this lesson, part 3 of properties of parallel lines. We are faced with some few questions that we're going to give solutions to. Question number 1. We have been asked to find the value of y and x in this diagram. We can see that there are two lines. The line PQ and the line RX, they are parallel lines. Between these parallel lines, we have two transversal lines that also created an angle at the center. Let us draw another line which will be parallel to the first two parallel lines. So we can draw it this way through the center. When this is done, the two angles, angle X and angle Y, are also divided into two, like this. So finally, we have four angles at the center. Let us zoom in and label these angles as angle X1 and X2, angle Y1 and Y2, since there are now four angles. When we look at this, let's get the solution to the right. When we look at this, you see that angle X is equal to angle X1 plus angle X2. It means that when we get the value of X1 and X2, when we sum them together, we should get X. Same thing applied to the Y. But one can see clearly that the angle 60 degrees and the angle X1 are alternate. The property of alternate angles exists over there. Therefore, we can say clearly that X1 is equal to 60 degrees. And the property here is alternate angles. Let's look at X2. It is clear that alternate angles exist here also. Therefore, angle X2 is also alternate to 65 degrees. So alternate angles, since they are always congruent, they are equal, they have equal measure, it means X2 is also equal to 65 degrees. This we can conclude by saying that X, since it is equal to X1 plus X2, it is going to be 60 degrees plus 65 degrees. Therefore, X is equal to 125 degrees. We are done with the value for X. Let's deal with the value for Y. We also did say that Y will be equal to Y1 plus Y2. Now, if looking at our diagram, if this side is 65 degrees and angles on a straight line is equal to 180, it means when we take out 65 degrees from 180, the remaining should be the value of the left-hand side. So 180 minus 65 is 115. You see that this 115 degrees is vertically opposite to the Y2. Likewise, if this side is 60, what will be the value of this other side? The two, when we sum them together, should also give us 180. So if here is 60, here is 120. This 120 also alternates to Y1. Let's put this into writing. Y1 is equal to 120 degrees. And the reason is that they are alternate angles. And Y2 is also going to be equal to 115 degrees. because they are also alternate angles. Since y is equal to y1 plus y2, it means that y is going to be 120 degrees plus 115 degrees. When we sum 120 degrees with 115 degrees, it gives us 235 degrees. Question 2 is also interesting and it's very simple. It says we should find the value of the unknown variables in this diagram. Drawing a diagram like this, you see that this angle is alternate to this angle. Therefore, if the angle here is equal to the angle here, so we can clearly write that this angle is also equal to 76 degrees. The triangle that we have, triangle BDE. Triangle BDE. Triangle BDE is an isosceles triangle. And since it's an isosceles triangle, it means that two lines are equal and two interior angles are also equal. Therefore, this angle too is equal to 76 degrees by virtue of that property. We can deduce what this third angle is by saying that there is a property that we call the sum of interior angles, and this is that if every triangle has three angles, let's say angle A plus angle B plus angle C should be equal to 180 degrees, and these are referred to the angles, the interior angles of the triangle. So in this sense, if we label this angle Y, it means that 76 degrees plus the second 76 degrees, which is these two, plus the angle Y, it is going to give us 180 degrees. 76 plus a 76 degrees, 152 degrees, plus Y is equal to 180 degrees. This, let's group like terms, is equal to Y is equal to 180 degrees minus 152 degrees. Therefore, Y is going to be equal to 28 degrees. These two angles, angle Y and X, are also angles on a straight line. Since they are angles on a straight line, we can say clearly that angle Y plus angle X is equal to 180 degrees. And they are angles on a straight line. And our Y is equal to 28 degrees. So we say that 28 degrees plus X is equal to 180 degrees. X is therefore equal to 180 minus 150. 180 minus 28 degrees. Therefore, X is going to be equal to 152 degrees. This one way of doing it. There's another property that we shall look at later in our learning, which is that the relationship between an exterior angle and the interior angles of a triangle. If you know that relationship between the exterior angle and the interior angles of a triangle, it means that you would have seen clearly that this angle X will be equal to the sum of the two interior angles that are far from it. Okay, so the third question. You see that this question is talking about we finding the value of the angle marked G, the value of the angle marked G. Like we did in the first question, we did a similar thing over there. If you can see, we drew a third parallel line. So in this same question too, we are going to draw the third parallel line. Let's use broken lines. After doing this particular thing that we have done, that is, we have drawn a third parallel line, a line that is also parallel to line AP and also line CD. So you clearly see that this 100 degrees angle has been divided into two. That is the upper part and the lower part. Let's label the upper part as A1 and the lower part as A2. Now, clearly we can see that the 67 degrees above here, this 67 degrees is alternate to angle A1. And since the alternate angles are equal, we can say that the angle 67 degrees is equal to angle A1. Similarly, the angle G also alternates to the angle A2. So we can say that G is alternate to A2 and alternate angles are equal. So whatever value we get for A2, that will be the value for G. But what is A2? A2 is going to be equal to the total angle that is over the 100 degrees minus A1. That is, we have just taken part of the 100 degrees out, and we've realized that that part, the top part of it, is vertically opposite to the 67. Whereas our A1 is equal to 67 degrees. So subtracting 67 degrees from 100, we are going to get 33 degrees. Therefore, A2 is equal to 33 degrees. And since we said earlier that A2 is equal to our G, and this property is also called alternate angles. It means that if we have A2 to be equal to 33 degrees, it means G, therefore, G is also equal to 33 degrees. And we are done with this. In this question, it is clear that the line TU is parallel to the line RS. So we can write that line TU is parallel to line RS, whereby the line PQ is a transversal line. If you understand that the line PQ is a transversal line which cuts these two parallel lines, then it is clear that the angle here will be alternate to the angle here. Very simple. So alternate angles are equal. It means that 3x is going to be equal to 42 degrees. And since we don't want 3x, but we want only x, we divide both sides by 3. 3 into itself 1 into 3, 1. We are left with x is equal to, and 3 into itself 1 into 42, 14 times. It's clear that x is equal to 14 degrees. The last question is also similar to the first and third questions. Let's see what we can do with this. The parallel lines are this one, it is unlabeled, and also this one. Now there are two transversal lines which also created an angle at the center, the angle marked X. Since we are to find the value of this particular angle, let us try and draw another line which will be parallel to the first two parallel lines. We'll label this as X1 and X2. So when we draw this line, you clearly see that this angle, the property alternate angles, occurs here. Alternate angles. It means that the angle marked 70 degrees is equal to the angle marked X1. And the reason is because they are alternate angles. Similarly, angle 41 degrees is also alternate to angle X2. they are alternate angles. I hope you can see it. So since we have this knowledge, we can also write that 41 degrees is equal to the angle marked x2. And the same property exists here, alternate angles. Therefore, the sum of x1 and x2 will give us the value of x, which we were tasked to find. Since x1 is 70 degrees and x2 is 41 degrees, when we sum these two, we are going to get 111 degrees, which is equal to x. The angle marked x is equal to 111 degrees. Thank you. So please do subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so that anytime we post a new video, you will get it. Thank you.